supply chain design. Focusing on supply chain design is one way companies can combat the problems caused by increased competition and shorter product life cycles. Supply chain design attempts to create the appropriate supply chain for companies' operating environment. This lesson discusses such dynamics as related to supply chain design. It follows from the previous slide that after studying this lesson, you should be able to understand different levels of supply chain, participants of supply chain management, meaning of strategic fit, different parameters of supply chain design, supply chain and value chain. We have already discussed the concept of value chain in an earlier lesson and know that supply chain links value chains. We also know that supply chain decides what the chain's configuration will be, how resources will be allocated, and what processes each stage will perform. Thus, a successful design requires a high degree of functional and organizational integration. Supply chain performance improves if all value chains increase total supply chain profits. Here, the first figure shows a value chain as shown by Porter, and the second one shows supply chain and how it links various value chains. We know that supply chain participants include customers, retailers, wholesalers or distributors, manufacturers, and component or raw material suppliers. Supply chain management operates at three levels: strategic, tactical, and operational. At the strategic level, company management makes high-level strategic supply chain decisions that are relevant to the whole organization. Tactical supply chain decisions focus on adopting measures that will produce cost benefits for a company. Such decisions are made within the constraints of the overarching strategic supply chain decisions made by company management. Operational supply chain decisions are made hundreds of times each day in a company. These are the decisions that are made at business locations that affect how products are developed, sold, moved, and manufactured. A major job of top management is to align the core functional strategies with the overall competitive strategy, because processes and resources are structured to support functional goals. If this alignment is not achieved, conflicts between different functional goals arise and the firm cannot possibly achieve strategic fit. Various types of functional strategies are cost leadership strategy, differentiation strategy, focus and niche, customer service strategy, and IT strategy. A cost leadership strategy means that the firm is attempting to reduce its economic costs below its competitors to gain a competitive advantage. This policy provides high margins and a superior return on investments. A differentiation strategy requires the firm to provide products that are unique along some dimensions that are widely valued by buyers. It has to select one or more attributes that many buyers in an industry perceive as important, and then uniquely position itself to meet those needs. The generic strategy of focus is based on the firm choosing a narrow competitive scope within an industry. This could be a segment or group of segments in the industry, or buyer groups, or a geographical market. The firm then tailors its strategy to serving these customers to the exclusion of others. Customer service strategy is directly derived from the three competitive strategies we just discussed. This strategy is often considered by academics as being a supply chain strategy. This is true to the extent that there is a strong relationship between marketing and supply chain management. However, marketing considerations lead the supply chain decisions. The IT strategy of the firm is based on the functionality of the IT applications and the requirement of flow of information in a supply chain. From the supply chain point of view, Flow of information is a continuum that stretches from activities that are then carried out within the firm and those that are sourced out. We know that if properly designed and managed, the supply chain will improve customer service, achieve the necessary balance between costs and service, and give the corporation a competitive advantage. A good supply chain achieves the objectives of SCM as well as the strategic objectives of the firm. Before the design of the supply chain is started, there are three basic requirements that have to be met. 1. Understanding the customer. 2. Assessing supply chain uncertainty. 3. Understanding the supply chain capabilities. Understanding these, it is possible to decide on the supply chain strategy and design a supply chain that has a strategic fit with the functional strategies of the firm. Supply chain strategies are meant to meet the functional needs to know who the targeted customers are and what they want, what is the size of the market and the distribution of customers, and how the firm intends to compete to win these customers. The strategies where primary decisions are not made by supply chain management having been previously discussed, we will now discuss the other two, namely collaboration strategy and demand flow strategy, where supply chain management is the final arbiter. Supply chain relationships are based on collaboration for mutual benefit of the members of the supply chain. With continued accelerating change, companies can achieve significantly more through collaboration. This means the sharing of business information rapidly and effectively with suppliers and customers, and perhaps even suppliers and customers. Collaboration brings major benefits for all the companies involved. Demand flow strategy defines and deploys business processes in a flow driven in response to customer demand. Let us check our progress now by telling whether these statements are true or false. A differentiation strategy requires the firm to provide products that are same along the dimensions widely valued by buyers. True or false? False. Supply chain links value chains. True or false? False. The third statement says that the operational supply chain decisions focus on adopting measures that will produce cost benefits for a company. True or false? True. Let us briefly revise what we have studied in this lesson. Supply chain design is a strategic decision and decides what the chain's configuration will be, how resources will be allocated, and what processes each stage will perform. The supply chain configuration should support the competitive strategy of the firm and its ability to satisfy the targeted customer segments. The value chain is a tool used in the design of the supply chain. It is a systematic approach to examining the development of competitive advantage. Strategies that determine the supply chain strategy are the three competitive strategies: cost leadership, differentiation and focus, and niche strategies. In addition, the customer service strategy and IT strategy are critical in the design of the supply chain. There are two basic types of competitive advantage a firm can possess: low cost or differentiation. The two basic types of competitive advantage combined with the scope of activities for which a firm seeks to achieve them leads to a type called focus. These are known as the generic competitive strategies.